The Harper's Magazine Scholarship in memory of I.F. Stone, endowed by John R. MacArthur and the Pierre F. Simon Charitable Trust. The winner is Adriana Correa from Columbia, the university, not the country, originally hailing from Brazil. She's reported from more than a dozen countries using her 3 languages. We're sending her to Reuters in Brussels. Presenting is Rick MacArthur, publisher of Harper's.
Where's Jackie Simone? Raise your hand, Jackie, because she's my co-funder. So thank her too. Hi, Jackie. Sorry. I do this every year because it's fun to revive and amplify the name of I.F. Stone, who, if you read in the program notes, was famous for a lot of things, including his weekly. But before he became known in the 50s for his independent weekly newsletter, he was just a great reporter. And every year I give to the winner of the I.F. Stone Scholarship a copy of Underground to Palestine, which was his brilliant scoop in 1946. When he went underground with the Jewish refugees or the Jewish survivors of the Holocaust from the so-called DP camps in Europe, the displaced persons camps, and traveled to Palestine with them. And this book was published originally in serial in PM, the newspaper, the great experiment, Ralph Ingersoll's great experiment. And it's just a model of excellent foreign correspondence. So I give this to Adriana with great pleasure. She's by far the most experienced winner of this award and accomplished, and I congratulate her and wish her well on her future. She's at the Columbia Journalism School now, and I don't know what else they can teach her. Here you go.
Thank you. This is a bit of a challenge. I'm more of a listener than a speaker. Thank you for being here. So few weeks ago, I had my New York Times was stolen from my door, and I couldn't stop smiling. We are back in the game. Journalism has been relevant again. If the guy bothered to steal my New York Times from my door, it's because it's important. So I'm so happy with that. Of course, there will always be these negative souls that will tell you, someone asked me, how do you know it was not to use with the dog? I said, because I believe in journalism, I believe in humanity. So I started in journalism in a time that every single editor would tell me that it's dying, that the profession is going to die, it's become irrelevant. I never believed that. I refused to believe that. I still do. I think it's a great time to be a journalist. It has become even more relevant, and the good news is that people are realizing that. So a few weeks after that happened, I received as a Christmas card in my house this message from, it was a very sweet Christmas message, signed by my newspaper carrier. And again, I would tell people how sweet he sent me a Christmas card. And people would say, oh, he just wants a tip from you. And I was like, how we became so cynical. So I still wanted to know who was that person who would come to my door every day and deliver the news. He was as important to me as any reporter. So I took the train, I went to meet him in Bronx and knocked on his door and came to meet this family, this beautiful family that has been delivering newspapers to New Yorkers for more than 40 years, for 3 generations. They have a profound sense of mission with what they do. They read all the newspapers. Their little blue van is a microcosm of New York. They deliver the New York Times, but also the Korean news, the Turkish news, the Russian newspaper. So it was, I think, again, it was a great story. I wrote back home that story So I think stories matter, and I hope to honor every single story that people share with me, with the stories I write. Thank you so much for your support.